What up, guys? It's Board Game Bulldog here, DJ Maggard, back with another review. So, from our Saturday Showdown winner, you guys voted. I'm going to review it. Here's your winner, Betrayal at House on the Hill. Like I said, you guys voted. You guys chose this game, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to review it. And we're going to do this every Saturday, so pay attention. Keep up. Anyways, Betrayal at House on the Hill is a storytelling game with a hidden traitor. Basically, you take place and you and your friends want to go enter this creepy mansion, this creepy house on the hill. And you kind of go searching through it and try to find out what happens. So stay tuned. I'm about to give you a brief overview and then come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright guys, here it is. Your winner, Betrayal at House on the Hill. Like I said, you guys voted it, so I'm going to review it. Right here, I'm just going to give you the simple setup for a 3-player game. If I haven't already told you, it's a 3 to 6 player game, about lasting around an hour. I'd say like an hour and a half, maybe if you're first time around. These are just 3 of the characters that we have here. There's also 3 more characters. They're all front and back, so you kind of can mix and match on whatever you'd like. We kind of do like a little random to choose whoever's who. You're gonna have your 3 rule books here. You have the main rule book, a traitor rule book, and a survival rule book. These 2 rule books will come into play later. There's a reason why I say do not read. It's because, like I said before, this is a storytelling game, and some of the stories are in here. Over here, real quick, you have 3 sets of cards. You have an event deck, an omen deck, and you have an item deck. And then you have your starting board. So right here's the entrance of the house, the front door, and a hallway. It breaks down to other doors, and over here's the staircase, which is going to lead to the upper landing. And then you have a basement tile over here that you're going to use, but it doesn't come into play later, because if you haven't noticed, there's no entrance to the basement yet. So I'm going to go over how to play this real quick. So if you look on your character board here, you'll see like these green numbers. Those are your starting numbers that you're going to put these pieces. Obviously, these pieces you can move up and down. The one thing bad I have to say about this game is the production quality for these pieces. As you can see, these things suck. I thought they were going to do a better job with the reprint, but they really didn't. I kind of had to put some tape, but still, even that kind of sucks. Yeah, so that's what that. If you didn't notice, I didn't move up or down, or don't have any pieces for these ones, because we're just going to focus on this guy real quick. This is going to be our main guy. Anyways, you're going to have 4 different attributes. You have speed, might, sanity, and knowledge. Now these are all going to come into play when you need to make some kind of check. It's going to say like make a might check, or make a sanity check, or a knowledge check. Usually it's something that happens in the event deck, and what you're going to do is whatever the number is, it's going to tell you have to beat a certain number. So if it's a might number, you're going to take 3 of these dice, and you're going to roll them. Oh, we rolled a pretty good number there, so most likely something good would have happened. Now on these dice, these are special 6-sided dice where they have either 2 pips, 1 pip, or a blank space, and they're all like that. Alright, so like I said, we're going to go in a brief review of how we're going to set this game up. So all 3 people are going to start the front door, the main entrance hall. Now, if you go back to your player card, they have a special kind of mechanic on who goes first. If you can look right here, see that birth date? This says birthday June 6th. So you're going to take whatever the day it is in real time, like today, which is what I believe it's the 6th. So you're going to take the day, March 6th, and whoever's the closest without going, or without it being past the date, is going to be the first player. So I think it's going to be this guy, Brandon Jaspers, and his birth date is May 21st. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that guy that's going to start first. So on his turn, his speed is 4. He can move up to 4 spaces. Now, for every square is 1 space. Now, if he's trying to go upstairs, he can go 1, 2, and moving to the next square. Obviously, the upper landing is 3. Going into a door counts as a space. So if he wanted to, on his first turn, he could just move straight in here and go into a door. Now, the way of building the mansion works like this. There's this special deck right here. All these tiles that you have to shuffle up in the beginning. They're gonna say, like this one says upper, ground, and basement. You see how that one says just upper and ground? That means they can only be used and placed on that section of the level. Now remember, you have the 3 sections. You have the basement, you have the middle ground, or the ground level, and you have the upper ground. So this is saying this can be used on either of the 3 sections. So little Brandon here is going to go through this first door, and we're going to see real quick what he has. So he has a game room. Now, when placing these tiles, you have to keep in mind for one thing. One door has to fit. Let me get a better shot of this. One door has to fit with another door. Okay, so it can go like this, that's perfectly fine. It can go like this, that's perfectly fine. And it can go like this, either or. But it just has to fit with the door that you entered. Now, we'll just go like this to keep things straight for you guys can see. Obviously, this is the game. Now, one thing you're going to need to look for, usually on every room, some of them don't have it, they're going to have a symbol. This means you need to draw an event card. So we're going to go back to our event deck, and we're going to pick up a card, read it, and do whatever the card says. Now, I can go on and read this card to you, but I really don't want to ruin the game, because there's a whole bunch of different things in here. As you can see, just little titles. Like I said, I don't want to really ruin that for you, because that's part of the game. It's part of the storytelling of making the game for you. But like I said, most likely something's going to happen. The spider drops on your shoulder, your guy gets scared, he has to make some kind of roll to save it, and depending on whatever happens, it's either going to have a bad effect or a good effect. If you can pass whatever the roll is, obviously it's a better effect. If you don't pass it, then obviously it's going to be a penalty, as in like maybe lose a sanity or lose a knowledge. Now, if you go back to your character real quick, if your character ever gets one of something to this little skull area here, your character has officially died. So that's how your character can die, by losing either speed, might, sanity, or knowledge. So also, when you come to a room, and if you have to pick up a card, one of these little card things, you have to end your turn unless another card says otherwise. So real quick, let's just say it's Flash's turn, which is this red guy here. He's just going to move upstairs. He has a move of 6. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. And he'll, we'll just move him right here. So we go over here. Oh, look, an upper deck card. Now, let's just say, for instance, this card was on top. Right here, this ground and basement card is on top. Like I said, since he's upstairs, he cannot pick up this card. So this tile. So what are we going to do with this tile? You're just going to place it off to the side, and we're going to draw from this tile again later, once the rest of this tile spot or this tile stack has been drawn out. Okay, so obviously he's going to pick up this one, which is an upper, and we'll flip it over. Oh, it's the balcony. So right here, this sign right here, this is the meat of the game. This is what everyone's worried about. It's the omen card. So the omen card, as you can see, they're just like events. If something happens, you know, you just follow what it says, but there's a special thing with the omen card. At the end of an omen card effect, so let's say Darren has an omen card. Like I said, I really don't want to go through any of these cards for you, because it's going to ruin the game a little bit. Like I said, it's more of an experience than it is than just to try to show you what these cards do. Anyways, back to the omen card. So when the omen card happens, you have to make something that's called a haunt roll. And basically, a haunt roll is you take 6 dice, I'm sorry, and you have to roll all 6 dice. And you add up how many pips there are. Oh man, we barely passed this one. So we take all these dice, we have 2 pips. Now if the haunt roll does not equal to or is greater than how many omen cards are out, it doesn't depend on who owns them. Let's say Brandon owns 2 omen cards and Father Reinhardt owns one omen card. let's say that's how the outlook is right now. If the pips on here doesn't equal 2, or like I said, go over how many omen cards is, then that's when the haunt begins. Which means, like I said before, this was a hidden traitor game. No one knows who the traitor is. Not even the traitor doesn't even know who the traitor is. Because this is what's going to happen. You're going to take these 2 books. Okay. You're going to go to, oops, the traitor book. Traitor's Tomb book, or whatever. And you're going to go to this haunt chart. Okay. Since we didn't successfully get the haunt, or beat the haunt roll on whoever's turn it is, whoever revealed this omen card, they're going to look real quick at where it happened. So, for instance, let's say it happened in the balcony. So we're going to look at the balcony, and the haunt card, let's say for instance, is the Madman. So we're going to go to the balcony, and we're going to look for the Madman. And right there, number 11. So that's going to give you the story of what's going to happen on number 11. Basically, you're going to look for number 11 here, and it's going to tell you who the traitor is. Now, I really don't want to get into this because, like I said, this book is really important. I don't want it to ruin how things work in here, because it's more of a mystery than it is and getting to know it. Like, I've owned this game for a while now, and I still haven't gone through every haunt, but that's how good it is. So anyways, you would go to page 11 for this book, and and whoever the haunt person is, or whoever the traitor is, has to go by themselves to go do something. So usually we send this person outside, and the group gets a survival book, and they go to the same page, number 11. Okay, and the group is going to read this book to the group, and the traitor's going to read that book to themselves. And now multiple things can happen here, where the group knows some certain information, and they know how to defeat the traitor, and it tells you what the win conditions are. And the traitor has his own special conditions, and his win conditions are different as well. So basically, he's going to come back, and he's going to set up the board of how it is, what he needs to do. And it could be anything. I'm telling you, the possibilities in here are endless. There's so many different scenarios of either zombies or bats or Frankenstein or you know, certain things like that. You just don't know what you're going to get out of this book. It all depends on, like I said, where the haunt was and what haunt or what omen card was revealed when it happened. So after that, obviously, the survivors are going to team up against the traitor, and whatever win condition happens first, that's how the winner is. I know it kind of seems a little bit confusing, but you kind of have to play this game to understand it. But like I said, the most meat of the game is trying to pick up stuff, and you're basically just getting ready until the haunt happens. And that's the only way I can explain this game. And that's pretty much it. And we're going to send you off to my final thoughts. Alright guys, so that was my brief overview of Betrayal and House on the Hill. Like I said, I know it probably couldn't show you most of the game because, like I said, I want to keep everything a secret in there just in case you do get a chance to play it, because it is a storytelling game. You build your story up until the big bang happens, the big reveal of who the traitor is. And honestly, that's probably the most fun part of the game, is you don't know. It could be anybody. Like I said, the traitor's not even going to know he's the traitor until it happens. Some of the mechanics in the game are kind of clunky, but you kind of get used to. You kind of make either some kind of little adjustments or house rules. But for the most part, it's a straightforward game. It's not anything too complicated or anything like that. If you just want to try to have a good, easy time, it's a great game to play around Halloween. I know we always try to break it out around that time because, like I said, it's just a storytelling game. But like I said, Betrayal, the House on the Hill, one of my personal favorite games I've kept for I don't want to say a long time, but I've looked out for this because it was out of print for a while. And then when they brought this back into print, I try to make sure I grabbed a copy as soon as possible. But overall, for my rating, I'd give it like a 7.5. But like I said, it's still a solid game. I've never had a time where no one's had fun playing this game. We've had times where it seemed like, okay, certain things were overpowered, but still, we still had fun trying to get to that point, to where the person was revealed, the haunt revealer was revealed, and then boom, you know, it just happens. You never know when it's going to happen either, because it could happen really fast, or it could happen, I don't know, 45 minutes into the game. So I guess that's a good thing too. It just all depends on the dice roll when you get to that aspect of the game. But like I said, that was my brief overview of Betrayal: The House on the Hill. Do me a favor, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, go to my Facebook, like, share, comment, spread the word out, and come back next time for your next Saturday showdown. Alright guys, but thanks for watching.